More recently, leading U.S. media claimed that racism in USA is over. And indeed it is only Russian well-disguised trolls in the network are trying to poison the political atmosphere in the States. Supposedly, now they focused exclusively on racial issues and the rights of blacks, and their faces show anger towards white. The purpose of these linegraph is to stir up controversy among Americans and provoke social unrest in the United States. In our country, of course, such accusations have long been laughing and simultaneously argue about whether the racist words black, Negro and African American. Moreover, it seems that soon any synonym used in reference to one of the biggest races of mankind, Negroid, will be declared open racism. Meanwhile, here is a little funny. African Americans, indeed for several centuries were under tremendous oppression by white Western Europeans who moved overseas. But now they are ready to take decisive action. In the days of black protesters seized downtown Seattle, everything that happens there, many experts already compare with the Paris Commune. Moreover, despite the daily cries of the president of Trump demanding to disperse the Maiden, in fact, nothing like this happens. A recent African American published its list of requirements. The manifesto was very extensive. It is divided into 4 categories: the judicial system, health and social security, the economy, education. The document is really revolutionary. Judge for yourself. First, the protesters are demanding is not reform and immediately to abolish the police department of Seattle and the entire court system and criminal justice. They insist on a complete cessation of their funding and even want to cancel pensions for police officers and to deprive them of immunity against prosecution. The same obstruction should be subjected to immigration and customs. Furthermore, Bastille must fall. Black Americans insist on the abolition of juvenile prisons. While only for them, but still, as they say, is not over, the wrongfully convicted must be released immediately. Moreover, the manifesto emphasized that freedom must be released to everyone. Black revolutionaries insist on full investigation of acts of police brutality and demand justice for those who have experienced sexual violence by police and prison guards in the state of Washington. Needless to say, apparently, that America is really going on some tin. So the blacks insist on the punishment of perpetrators and compensation of victims of the police. Curiously, until they decided how much they demand for this money and postponed the discussion of the exact numbers later. A simple question, we are talking about millions of dollars. In addition, the communards of Seattle insist on general amnesty for the current turmoil and want the Black to a Beautiful Future could be judged only black jurors. Special mention require the economic demands of African Americans. They insist on the introduction of universal free education in college because I want to study and study again. Because of this, many whites suspected of communist views. In addition, blacks seeking regulatory rents and stop evictions and raids on the homeless. In fact, it looks literally Leninist. However, in healthcare the current American revolutionaries went from Zavadi Licha very far. Internationalism then, as they say, and does not smell. According to their requirements, hospitals and other medical facilities need to hire black doctors and nurses that treat. However, in the business of such racism on the contrary, is not observed. Niggers insist that all Seattle residents of any skin color often came and supported the enterprises of medium and small businesses owned by colored people. Your money is our strength and self-sufficiency. This is the real slogan of the manifesto. But in the field of culture, protesters were limited to just one paragraph. We demand that authorities demolished all the monuments dedicated to the Confederacy, whose treacherous attempts to build an America where slavery was the norm became an insult to the entire human race. However, despite its brevity, it is this requirement, not all of the above, the Americans began to perform in the first place. It is well known that the first destroys any revolutionary before the foundation of the old world. To break, as they say, not to build.